Greetings to all. I am delighted to see you once again in this brand new video. Today, our aim is to elucidate another mode of intervention employed by service providers. This is the delegation of lump sum competences, more commonly known as lump sum management, although I dislike using the word management due to its association with social and legal risks, which I will describe in a future video. To gain a better understanding of this mode of intervention, let us review the delegation of expertise and the delegation of responsibility. The expertise delegation, or time and material, in English, corresponds to a provision of resources by the service provider who has an obligation of means. The client, in this case, bears the risk, as a longer deadline for mission completion would result in a higher budget if a contract extension is required. The delegation of responsibility to flat rate benefits corresponds to an obligation of result. The cost of the service remains unchanged even if the duration of the mission exceeds the initial estimate. The two modes of intervention are explained in my prior videos. Flat rate management is a mix of these two intervention modes. The term régie indicates billing based on time spent, but within the budget defined in the contract, hence the term forfaitée, which also corresponds to a result obligation. Concretely, if the mission is completed before the end date of the contract, the provider leaves and only invoices for the time consumed. If the mission is not completed at the end of the contract, the provider remains and continues its service at its own expense until the completion of its mission, therefore without any additional invoicing compared to the budget defined in the contract. Regarding the delegation of responsibilities, depending on the contractual obligations and the nature of the relationship, penalties for tardiness may or may not be imposed. Concerning the payment for this kind of service, it is advisable to make payments to the provider in a progressive manner, depending on the level of progress they have made in their mission. To achieve this, a billing schedule based on pre-arranged deliverables is negotiated and agreed upon in the contract. You will find an example in my previous video on delegation of responsibility. In the world of information systems, this mode of intervention is less common than delegation of skills or responsibilities. Indeed, few providers would accept this mode of operation since at the very least they would be within their estimate and not lose any money. On the other hand, if they were to finish the performance before the contract deadline, they would lose money. Clients who utilize this method often lack time, visibility, and have difficulty assessing the amount of work required to achieve their goals within the given time frame. Additionally, they hope their provider completes mission before contractual deadline to secure budget. I'm done with the concept of fixed rate management. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will respond. Thank you for listening and see you soon on my next videos.